Hello, my name is Ash, a counselor in training. This is my Relatable study podcast for individuals who need help studying for their NCE, CPCE, and other related counseling exams. I'm going to go through many questions from multiple resources and make the answers relatable to both you and me. So get your listening ears on and let's get studying. In the United States, a frequent practice is to see a perfect stranger for therapy. A. This trend seems to be true in any area of the world. B. This is true for the LPCs, but not true for the MSW therapist. C. This is true for LPCs and MSWs, but not clinical psychologists. D. However, in other cultures, it would not be the norm to see a stranger and receive pay for providing help. The answer is D. In the U.S., a frequent practice is to see a perfect stranger for therapy. However, in other cultures, it would not be the norm to see a stranger and receive pay for providing help. This is because in some cultures, an individual would want to talk with a family member and discuss their problems through that way. And in other cultures, it may not be the norm to talk your feelings and issues out. It just depends on the culture that the individual belongs to. What is an indulgent, permissive parenting style? An indulgent, permissive parents would stay involved with their children's lives, but have few rules in place to give the children boundaries. Typically, these children would have a difficult time setting their own limits and boundaries and are not responsible. They often disrespect others and have trouble with authority figures. When I was in high school, I did observe a few adolescents who had indulgent parents, and they would get away with many things and they would often disrespect teachers and authority figures within the school and any police officers as well. If you have seen this, then these individuals would be the delinquents and typically end up in trouble and may go to juvie or jail at some point in their adolescence or early adult years. According to the cognitive dissonance theory of Leon Festinger, a man who buys a $20,000 platinum watch would most likely A. feel intense guilt, B. read test reports after the purchase to justify his behavior, C. harbor severe hatred regarding his mother, D. harbor severe hatred regarding his father. The answer is B. A man who buys a $20,000 platinum watch would most likely read test reports after the purchase to justify his behavior because it was an expensive purchase, and he is doing research after the fact to justify why he decided to purchase this watch and to reflect on his behavior to justify it. What is an indifferent, uninvolved parenting style? Indifferent or involved parents spend little time as possible with their children. They are often self-involved with no time or patience for taking care of their children's needs. Guidance and discipline are lacking and are inconsistent, and these children tend to lean towards delinquency with a lack of respect for others. These children will most likely end up in juvie or spend jail time or prison time later on in their lives. Indifferent and involved parents may also neglect their children's needs and will most likely have their children be taken away by CPS because of how indifferent and uninvolved they are. A woman who is being robbed A. would probably get the most assistance in a crowd with a large number of bystanders. B. would find that the number of people who would respond to her distress actually decreases as the number of bystanders increases. C. would rarely have a bystander from a different race trying to help her. D. none of the above. The answer is B. A woman who is being robbed would find that the number of people who would respond to her distress would actually decrease as the number of bystanders increase. This is called the bystander effect. The story behind the bystander effect is really interesting, and I would recommend looking up the bystander effect story when you have the time. That is all 5 questions for this episode. Thank you for listening, keep calm and study on.